Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is March 30th, 2023, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, we're watching Intel, one of the largest chip makers in the United States, have a big rally to the upside. But first, looking at the major economic events of today. So we're starting out all day today from the Eurozone. We have CPI number coming out for Germany, and that is a very important number because Germany is one of the largest contributors to the GDP in the euro. Then at 2:30 South African time at the United States, we have a quarterly GDP number coming out of there. Now looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the US dollar tapers off. While we're looking at the indices, the Dow Jones pushes higher while the NASDAQ looking to break out. Now looking at commodities, pretty much unchanged for both gold and oil. And looking at the stocks, tech sector was the one that lifted us higher across the board almost. Lastly, looking at Bitcoin, looking to edge higher. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trade. So here we go. We're going to start with the Euro USD, but you can see pretty much unchanged. Sticking to 108, 20-ish level in a 30 to 40 pip range, not tradable. So just keep an eye on this because if it does break down and catches up to the other major numbers, major Forex symbols, then we'll see what happens, okay? But pretty much really unchanged for this morning. This CPI number is very important for Germany and it will affect the euro. So you do want to know about it and keep an eye on this because it may still break down. Once it breaks down that 30-day moving average, then it gets a little bit more exciting. And we could see it trace down to that 107.26, which is 100 pips from where we are today. And that makes it a decent trade. So keep that in mind. Now looking at the GBP USD, also just really unchanged day to day. If we look at the Aussie USD, just a little bit changed. So again, not a big deal as we're consolidating within this area. That's really a day-to-day chart. So, you know, not much to really report when it comes to Forex symbols. Now looking at the commodities also been kind of quiet. I mean, we're kind of we're trading in a range when it comes to gold. Okay, the upper and lower ranges are obviously 2,000 and 1950, but we're just above that right now at 1969, so not really much to really write home about. And crude oil sticking at that $73 a barrel. If we look at that, I mean, just tapering off now as it's hit that 73 bucks. So keep that on your radar because it may correct itself, right? Because remember, we have this resistance-ish area around this area. So that's important to keep an eye on it. Now looking at the US markets, Dow Jones breaking above 200-day moving average on the 4-hour chart. That's important. Okay, I don't mean to be facetious here, but that's really important because it's breaking on the 30-day and the 200-day moving averages on both the daily and the 4-hour chart. And that may lead us into an upwards momentum, at least until next month. Now, next month, we do have a lot of earning reports, so that is an important factor going into next month. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, also right there on resistance, broke above it, okay, but didn't, I want to see it stay up there, okay? And that's what you want to look at. So looking at Intel, which was the big stock yesterday, look at that, to $31 a share. Now, it did make a triple bottom here, okay, as we could see at that area of $24.50. And so that is solidified. Now, it did break above that range, okay? Now, I do want to see future buying into it. Now, the technicals of it, the technicalities of why it went up, some good news down the pipeline that its chip making is coming to appreciate some of its chips that it's coming out with, also AI. So these things are all factored in. So you do want to consider if it's going to be some sort of a new kind of trend on the upwards. I want to see that. I want to see that it does continue on this upwards momentum. Now looking at the other stocks, Apple had a nice move up back to its highs, and so did Microsoft. If we look at that, back to its highs. So today is a telling sign. If it's going to push and it's going to push higher, it's going to do it today. And that's where I want to be participating in on the upside. So keep that in mind as we're looking. Amazon also pushed to the high side. Okay, so they're all strong. I just want to see follow through. Follow through means there's going to be a few days that there's buying into it, and it makes new highs, and possibly breaks out of this range that we're not at 12,900 on the NASDAQ. We're somewhere at 13,500. So keep that in mind. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, which has been very resilient. Edges higher to 28,000. We almost hit 29,500 yesterday, but not there yet. Okay, 29,800 is that resistance. Remember, anywhere between that and 31-ish thousand is resistance. So keep that in mind as we go into today, because if it does push it, it's also going to push the Bitcoin as well. So I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.